Welcome to Gotham. Cenobites.
Welcome everybody back to another video. You've clicked on Gotham Cenobites. I'm Terry, and today is going to be part one of probably 3 parts of the Quartet of Torment. It is the new quadrilogy, I guess you would say, released in 4K Ultra HD by Arrow Films. I guess they had the license, and they did release a previous edition, I think called, forgive me if I'm wrong, it's called the Scarlet Box, and it has the first 3 films, and I don't know, I didn't really give it any mind, and I'm kind of kicking myself, but this version came out, and it has 4 movies, and then when I heard that Ultra HD Blu-rays don't have any region lock, so I really jumped on it, and I prefer the Chatterer cover. I really wasn't a fan of the way the pinheads looked, and then when they said that the Chatterer was exclusive to the site, I kind of got worried, but ultimately, like I just said, I found out that it's not region locked, so I went ahead and purchased it through Arrow Films. They're based in the UK, and it got here, unboxed it. I had some other stuff going on, so I didn't really even try to watch this for almost a week after I had it, but I put it in. There's an Xbox behind the TV behind the wall, and it didn't work, but then I did some research, and it is an original first released Xbox One. So I found out they don't play any Ultra 4K movies at all. So I went downstairs, and I have an Xbox One S, the white one that was released later, the slimmer look. And I had heard it played Ultra HD's 4K, but none of the 4 discs worked. So I went up to my movies. I got Joker, The Gentleman, a few others, and they all worked. So I reached out to Arrow. They're very, very, very pleasant to deal with. I have no complaints about Arrow Films. After explaining the situation, they were very quick to send me a form to fill out and send to them with the movies, and they were going to send me a new one. They said, reaffirming it's not region locked, so they wanted to give me a new copy. So fast forward, I am a big steelbook collector, so Blue Beetle came in a few days later. I had it all boxed up, and I was going to ship it out the next day, but I felt Blue Beetle's a new movie. This is definitely released in America, so let me try this one. And it did not work, because I usually type the code in, and I don't even use the disc, so it didn't work. So I went out and bought a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray player, and everything worked. So I was able to contact Arrow and say my bad, and again, shout out to Arrow. It was very easy. It was going to be an easy transition, but I'm glad that a movie came in and I was able to get it sorted out. So having to explain all that is again why I wanted to break this up into parts, because I knew I had to talk about a lot. But so this one, the rest of this video is going to be just my thoughts on the first Hellraiser movie, the first disc, as it were, in this collection. So last night I dove into it, and I took a bunch of notes, which is what I'm going to be looking at here. But just making notes that I have a DVD, and I've been used to watching that, and it's just the 4K really does shine through. There are definitely times where in this first Hellraiser movie where it looks just as clear, just as good as any movie that's being made nowadays, especially with the backward step that some of these studios are taking with their CGI. But that's not to talk shit about this. This movie looks great in 4K. And I'm watching some of the special features later, I'm reminded how bad, the format was back then. You didn't know any better back then, but it's just crazy that they did this good of a job to make this movie look this good. There are still some practical effects that show this movie's age, where the hook's going into Frank in the beginning, and his whole resurrection scene. I mean, they're practical effects that are definitely show this movie's age still, but if you're a fan of this movie before, and you have a 4K player and a 4K TV, you're going to notice right away. This movie looks spectacular. My next point is the scene where Kirsty goes into hell and gets chased back out by, I grew up calling it the Wall Walker, but nowadays there's so much lore in the Hellraiser universe out there that it is called an engineer. So the engineer is what was walking on the wall. And this movie is so clear now, you can actually see fully in one shot the mechanics that are back behind this thing driving it, because I mean, it's obviously not real, it's practical effects, but you can definitely see it driving this thing down the hallway now. So I mean, there are some benefits to a lower quality, but it looks great, but you can see the mechanicals. And that brings me to the Cenobites. They look amazing, and again, watching some of the special features later, I mean, it's shocking. The scene where he's talking and all the cloudy stuff's going around Pinhead, it is amazing how clear it looks. I mean, I kind of regret not buying this player, before, because I mean, you have a 4K TV, but without this 4K player, I mean, it's kind of got me wanting to watch other movies again that I have on disc just to see if they look better. But ultimately, it's still the same movie. So I watched about 30 minutes of the movie just to kind of see certain scenes, see how much better it looked. But I'm gonna dove right into all of the special features. So there are some other special features that were on the previous release. There was only one featurette that I saw that's on my DVD, and we'll get to that eventually. But there's The Power of Imagination, and it's a sit down between, I forget if they're sculptors, if they're artists, or whatever they. I'm sorry, I didn't watch the whole thing. It was an hour long, but it's just a great sit down discussion with Sorcha Flan. I'm sorry, I'm butchering y'all's names, and Carmel Neproth, and they were just discussing the impact that Clive Barker has had on them, I guess spiritually and also through their work. And there was another one called Unboxing Hellraiser, and that was kind of a celebration of the Lament configuration. It was narrated by Alexandra A.K. Benedict, and it was just a great mental breakdown on humanity's overwhelmingly curiosity. I've always trying to open the boxes, wanting to know what's in boxes. Another one was The Pursuit of Possibilities, and it was also pretty long, and that was just a sit-down discussion with two horror authors, Paula DeAsh and Eric LaRocca, and they were just discussing the importance of Clive Barker as a queer author, and on the queerness of Hellraiser. I gotta admit, I didn't watch too much of that one. The last one was Flesh is a Trap, and it was kind of just videos, and it was narrated by Guy Adams, and just talking all things, body modification. It was kind of like stuff he had written. All of these were only for this particular set, and to me, it's all, I don't know, opinion-based. It's nothing that really bears fruit or bears merit to me personally. I'll be honest, I mean, I didn't watch much of them at all, and it's not that I don't, it's just not important to me. It's not definitive to me to have it on this type of set, and I'm sure there's people out there who really enjoyed it and kudos to you. It's just not something I probably would ever watch again. I mean, they're all mostly, to me, forgettable. It's all just people like, you and me discussing the impact that, Hellraiser has had on their lives, whether it's body modification, artistically, or, being a queer author, and Clive is also queer. So, I mean, it's just nothing that, benefited me at all, and it's something that I'll never watch again. I mean, this is my opinion, and I don't mean to take anything away from people who really did enjoy this stuff. It's just, I didn't. But, moving on to the special features, there is a ton of, I think what's called EPKs, which, like, press kits, I don't remember what the E stands for, but there's an intro to this footage by Kim Newman and Stephen Jones, and it's a great back and forth between those two guys. And then we have behind the scenes interviews from when they were filming the movie, from Clive Barker, Andrew Robinson, Claire Higgins, Ashley Lawrence, and then there's a great creatures and effects. And I didn't, dumb fucking me, I love these movies, but I didn't really know all of this behind the scenes shit, so I didn't even know that the special creature effects was the same guy who had done Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But I thought that was it. I came up here, I went to bed, and I woke up and I was doing some reading, and I found out there was more shit. I'm like, well, I didn't see that shit. So I went back down, looked it up on the disc again, and there's this thing called archival special features. So I'm thinking that everything I have just talked about until now is new for this release. This other shit is probably was on the Scarlet release, the previous one, or movies that came before that. But this is where I kind of enjoyed. There was a thing called Being Frank, and it was Sean Chapman who played the Frank with skin. And it was a great look into his career and how he was introduced to Clive, and then just him hearing him talk about playing Frank. I mean, it's a great interview with him, and he's not really in these Hellraiser movies too much as a character to really get to know, but seeing the interview, he looks like a great person, and kind of makes me curious to go watch some more of his stuff. But then there's something called Under the Skin with Doug Bradley, and it's just Doug Bradley discussing playing Pinhead in the first Hellraiser. Another thing is this soundtracked Hell, and it's the story of an abandoned Coil score, and Coil as a band, I guess Clive was introduced to and almost was able to do the score of the movie. But I'm kind of glad Christopher Young got it, because I can't imagine Hellraiser music being any different. It's just, I know, I just can't imagine it. But the last thing is the only thing I had seen, and it was on my DVD. It's called Hellraiser Resurrection, and it's a vintage featurette from 2000 with like the entire cast. And like I said, it's the only thing I had seen before, and just seeing Clive Barker talk in that movie, it's almost like he was sick of these movies. And ultimately, I think it's probably one of the reasons why after Bloodline, which is the fourth one we'll discuss in a later video, he's not even a producer. It just goes to characters made or created by Clive Barker. But so that is all the special features. Overall, I think it's a great release. There is an exorbitant amount of content here with the movie, all of the new features, all of the features I've seen before, all the features that you might have seen before on Arrow's previous trilogy release. I will say that coming up here and really going over this Scarlet set I have right here, there's one thing that it came with that is not on mine that I was just incredibly disappointed, and that is this Leviathan, the story of Hellraiser. It's a documentary. I found it on YouTube, and there's one part for this movie, and then there's one part for the second movie. They're both on the previous release. It's the only thing that's not on this one, and it's disappointing because it's about 3.5 to 4 hours of content, and I haven't watched it yet, but it was released separately. I forget the year, but it looks really good. It looks like something to me that needed to be on this thing over all of this new shit they filmed just for this. I mean, I would gladly have traded all of that shit I talked about in the intro and then said it's no weight to me. Get all that off and put Leviathan on here. It doesn't make sense to me at all why it's not on here. So I mean, that's the only mark for me personally. I would say if we're going to do them separately and then overall at the end, I would say this first disc, Hellraiser, it's the same movie we all know and love. The features, stuff you haven't seen. It's nice to see all this press shit that was archived until now. Because, I mean, it's easy to see them all get together and talk about it now. But to see these interviews before it was what it was is pretty cool to see. But overall, I would probably say Hellraiser 1, Disc 1 probably gets a 9 out of 10. And it's only a 9 because Leviathan should be on here, Arrow. But yeah, that's going to do it for this first part. I'm hoping part 2 is going to be Hellraiser 2 and 3. And then the last part of this is going to be Bloodline, because I know Bloodline, reading it has a lot of, a whole nother version of the movie that I'm going to have to watch. So, Bloodline, and then overall rating will be the third part. And it's going to be, I'm probably going to wait until next weekend to do part 2 of 2 and 3, so this is probably going to get drug out. So I'm sorry for all of you guys for wanting me to sit up here and talk for an hour. I think it's better for me, better for you guys to have this all broken up. But I do appreciate you guys watching, listening to me ramble about Hellraiser. But I do absolutely recommend this. I'm probably going to say this on every part of this thing. This thing is well worth the price. If you have the Scarlet, I mean, that was 2K, this is 4K, so this, no matter what, it's definitely the best version of it. But I would not get rid of your trilogy because of that Leviathan thing alone. And but yeah, it's definitely worth the money to me. Had a little scare, but everything works. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And I will see you next week on part 2. Appreciate you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. So what's up, everybody? Did you hit that subscribe button? Why not? We're giving away these 5 books. I'm about to put over my face. We're giving away all 5 of these books. The 4 of the metal books put up by me. The 5th, the Batman Who Laughs book, put up by the very kind and gracious Steve over at Casual Nerd Problems. And not only did he come in clutch with this 5th book, The Batman Who Laughs, that immediately picks up after the metal event, but he also went out and got it signed, here you see, by Scott Snyder. Big thank you to you, Steve. Thank you so much for always being there. Thank you so much for supporting me as much as you have. It is awesome that you gave up that book signed for this giveaway. So stick around, like this video, subscribe, and we're gonna go live once we hit 500 subscribers on both channels, here at Gotham Cenobites and over at Casual Nerd Problems. So subscribe to both, that way you have double the notifications whenever that video does go live. As always, I appreciate you for watching. I appreciate everybody who subscribes. You might as well get you all 5 of these books. So yeah, thank you so much. Stick around for that giveaway.